The news: the world's largest meat processing company has become the latest target of a sophisticated cyber attack. Abattoirs in the United States, Australia and Canada have been forced to close after the headquarters of the JBS group in Sao Paulo was hit by a ransomware hack. It's the latest in a string of online attacks on key industrial and commercial targets in the US. JBS controls a fifth of the meat packing market there. Allan Liska is from the cybersecurity firm Recorded Future. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. How sophisticated was this attack, and what's known about the size of it?
So the attack probably wasn't very sophisticated in and of itself. Most of these ransomware attacks aren't that sophisticated. Instead, they rely on lack of security controls inside the plants. And it appears to have been pretty devastating inside the plant, being able to shut down not just the IT networks, but actually some of the lines where the processing is completed.
We do seem to be seeing many more of these ransomware attacks globally. How wide is the problem, and who is getting targeted?
Ransomware attacks are a huge problem. We saw a massive increase in 2020, and that increase has continued through 2021. And unfortunately, everybody's a target. So we've seen hospitals get hit. We've seen manufacturing, shipping, financial institutions, local governments, schools, colleges. There really isn't any industry that's safe from ransomware attacks. We've even seen network security companies that are cybersecurity companies that have been hit with ransomware attacks. So unfortunately, they go after everyone.
And what is being done to curb these crimes? And why don't governments seem to be getting a handle on it?
Well, it's hard. When you have nation-state actors, you can attacks that are sponsored by Russia or the United States or China or whoever. There are things you can do. There are steps that you can take. Whereas when you have individual actors carrying out these attacks, which is what happens in most of these cases, it's very hard. We don't really have a good framework for dealing with these kind of massive attacks. And unfortunately, most of these attacks are occurring from Russia-aligned countries. And right now, the Kremlin doesn't seem to want to do anything to stop these threat actors.
And these attacks really can affect citizens, everyday people like you and me, everywhere, can't they? Such as the potential meat shortages with JBS and recently with the attack on the Colonial oil pipeline.
I mean, absolutely. So, basically every ransomware attack now is a third-party attack. So we've seen in Australia, Lion Beverage got hit, and that stopped, that disrupted delivery of beverages across Australia. In the United States, same thing with Coors. Coors that makes a bunch of different kinds of beer got hit, and that disrupted attacks. But even things like hospitals around the world have been hit with ransomware attacks, and they're forced to send patients away. Ireland just had a massive hit on its healthcare system, and that meant that cancer patients couldn't get treatment, and other types of recurring appointments had to be missed.
And how sophisticated are businesses getting at detecting hacks? And are companies now putting in adequate resources into protecting themselves?
There's sort of this have and have nots out there, where some companies have gotten really good and put in a lot of protections, while other companies still aren't taking it as seriously as they should, and they're not investing in security in the way that they should be. And we tend to blow this off by saying, oh, well, these are really sophisticated attacks. And they're not, compared to like a nation-state attack, they're not that sophisticated. They're using well-known vulnerabilities. They're, taking advantage of the fact that people reuse passwords, or that multi-factor authentication isn't enabled for a lot of these organizations, and they're using that to get in. The advantage the attackers have is they're persistent. They're trying anybody they can get in order to gain access into the networks.
Allan, really good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Allan Liska there from Recorded Future. Thanks so much.